Hello friends, it's T with Teresa H Creates, and I wanted to do an updated studio tour. So I did one last year, or it might have been at the very beginning of the year, I'm not sure. And I had some big plans for my studio, and I made, for me, some big changes. So I wanted to share those with you. I've changed up how I organize my space. So my space is a formal dining room, and it's right off our main living area. So I keep it pretty neat most of the time because I like to keep the double doors open so that I can still be part of the family. Again, I'm going to start on this side. So I have this nice rounder. It's nice and tall. I keep all of my completed cards up there. Right now it still has Christmas. I should be changing that out soon though, and putting my winter items and my Valentine's cards up there. These are all of my lovely goodies, my little Funko Pops, things that my kids have drawn for me, some mixed media things that I've made, things that I enjoy. I've moved my ink up, so I have these nice little shelves that I got off of Amazon. And so I have my distress inks and my Stampin' Up! Inks. And then I have some sitting to the side because I need to make labels. I have my label maker out so I can do that. I'm trying to do this without making you guys dizzy. And if I sound a little funny, it's because I had wanted to kick off 2025 with a bang and get this video out to you guys on the 1st. However, I woke up with a crud, and I'm starting to get over it. Still really tired, but yeah, so my voice might still be a little bit off. These are going to be my really thick dies, the old ones. You can see them. A lot of them are the Tim Holtz and Sizzix ones. And then my embossing folders. I only have a few. I don't have a ton. These are the extra large dies, and then all of the items, the long plates that go with those, and then my extra just die cutting plates. So all the die cut tools are there. And then this is what I've done with my stamps. So I'm trying to move them or convert them all to this system where I have them in these pockets, and they're kind of organized by theme. So this is a project that I am still working on. I have all the supplies for it, and here are some of the oh my goodness, close to my heart stamps that I am going to be converting and moving into these sections here. I have way too many stamps. All of them are going to fit, I believe, in these two bins. And then I want to get the large dividers to indicate what is on them, so I can give them, I can, break them up into theme. These are my larger stamp sets. Those still are not organized. These are even larger stamp sets. These are my huge 12 by 12s. So it's a work in progress. I really feel like this year what I accomplished was really kind of macro organizing, where I set up like all the big pieces that I needed to get myself organized. Now I need to work on micro organization. So going in and organizing all the little bits. That's kind of how I'm thinking of it now. This is just my personal space where I have all my planning stuff and just some extra tools for some of these pockets for some of my projects that I keep there. Another thing that I need to organize is my ribbon. This is some of my ribbon. I have way too much, and I'm not happy with how it is. Same with flowers. This is some of my flowers. I have this huge tub. I don't use it as much as I should because it's just not conducive for pulling out and finding what I need. Right now I have these smaller tubs, and I'm trying to organize them into these smaller tubs. So I have it sitting here on my main space. And so that's kind of a work in progress. And then these little guys, I think I'm going to keep a few of these because I love the storage, but they did house all of my ephemera. And I have something new that I'm doing with my ephemera, but these bits right here are things that I couldn't fit into existing ephemera bins. And so I'm not sure what I'm going to do with them quite yet. Here's just extra tools and supplies that I have. Again, this whole middle section is just kind of like, well, maybe not these last two. This is where I keep my Cricut stuff, so I did move it. And then this right here is where I keep all of my tools. So my extra mats, I have a glass mat here. I've got a stamping foam. I've got a lot of the little tools that you can use for stencils, the hold stencils. Obviously my paper trimmers, my scoreboard. Then down below I have my paper. So this is just regular, no, this is my fancy paper. This is my premium paper that I use for digitals. This is some paper that I use for making my dyed paper, my dyed papers that I like to do. They're tea dye and distressed dye papers, black paper. This is some specialty paper, and then this had come in a kit and I couldn't work it into these, so I just stuck it there. So this is my 12 by 12 colored paper, some 12 by 12 specialty paper. There are my 8.5 by 11s. This really hasn't changed much, this section. And then those over here are going to be my 6 by 6 and 6 by 8s. And then down there are just some older collections that I've had for a while. Those are 12 by 12 paper pads mostly. And I've just had them for a while and I haven't found a way to kind of work them in. A lot of them are like recollections. So the stuff that I would have picked up at Michael's or Hobby Lobby. So Park Lane recollections, those kinds of kits. Puppy. I have Studio Dog here. And that's my Clementine. And she's not happy with whatever is going on outside. So at the bottom, this is where I have moved my bends. So I have mediums and adhesives. I have craft paints and sprays, tools, acrylic paint, photos. So a lot of that hasn't changed since the last video. So I won't bore you with going through all of that. My huge TV is still up there. And I pulled up my video that I did for my craft room tour previously so I could pause it on the table that was there before. So I had that huge IKEA table there. I liked it, but I don't know if you can tell from there, it came out so far and it took up so much space. And I really needed drawers for organization. So I removed it and I brought in these 3 sets of drawers. I got them online on Amazon. Now, they are made of wood. So at some point I may cover the fronts, I may paint them, I may do something to add some color, I don't know. But right now I'm just kind of making sure that they're organized the way that I want them and that I will use them. I have some really large paper pads resting between these 2 and a step stool to reach some things that are higher up, like my dies and things like that. I did get a board that my husband is going to hang up here for me. It is a cork board and then also a dry erase board with magnets, because I want to start keeping my goals in front of me. It'll be right in front of where I work. I want to keep it there. And so he'll be attaching that to the wall soon. Buttons, ribbon scraps, handmade cards that are sent to me. My little standard foam roller holder here. And then, this little guy, I moved it out so it was just easier to reach. I had it in one of the Calyx units before and it was a little hard to get to, so I moved it out here. These little bins come out so I can take them out and sort through them if I need to. There's my nesting dies all there. My Cricut is here. I just keep some storage stuff in there, just some extra things that are personal to me. I have a frame with most of my more common shapes and things that I use when I am die cutting. And then let's see, I don't know if you'd really be interested in what's going on in here. So this is just crap. That was kind of the catch-all drawer. This one has all of these resin bits, I guess, some weird doll heads, some hearts. So it's just kind of a catch-all, but it's all of these little resin bits in here. It's more mixed media kind of a drawer. This is all of my grunge papers, my smaller trip boards, and then all these little laser cut shapes that I have in there. Pens and pencils, art markers, these are acrylic paints. Those are my distress colors, or I don't know, distress pencils, I think is what they are. Watercolor pencil, distress watercolor pencil. All right, then regular stuff that I use for the kids when they come over, just crayons and things. Right now I have all of my stencils in here. I don't have a ton of stencils, so I just have them in the one drawer. This is all of my cardstock. So these are my card bases or bases that are ready to go. And then this is the actual cardstock that I use for making my cards. This drawer contains all of my envelopes and also just the card supplies that I get, you know, when I buy the envelopes. So the cheaper stuff that I use when people want to come over and make cards, because I no longer use those. I used to use them a lot, but I don't anymore. I have all these little bins, and so I've used it to kind of separate and organize all the little tools that I have at my disposal. I think this is similar. So corks and tools and items that I use on the regular. And then this one, this drawer I've converted to use for all of my little Christmas stuff. So I had just tons of little Christmas goodies. And I thought, you know, I don't have room to put them in just their own bin. So I just decided to make a drawer for them. This is where I keep a lot of my supplies for dies, for my stamp stuff, those folders and things. This is where I was keeping my stuff for craft fairs. Did I skip one? Yep. This is my scrap drawer. And I do have just basic scraps under here. But this, I also have a couple of specialty items here. So one of them I think is autumn. This would be autumn scraps. And then this one is Christmas. So I do have some, is it Christmas? I don't think that that one's Christmas. I'm not sure what it is, but it's not Christmas. And then I just have basic scraps underneath. So those are just all of my scraps. I like to keep them separate just so that when I'm working on autumn things, I know that I can find them here and it's a little bit easier. So here's just my colored cardstock scrap. It's my specialty paper scrap and just the neutral colors. Moving on to the next side. All of my rubber stamps, my wood mounted stamps. These are going to be all of my little embellishments and glitter, gelatos, smooches, my little pop dots and stuff. This is all going to be my stickers, washi, ribbon, all of my inks and my re-inkers. Those are all the little extras, and then all of my stamps down here, or my punches, sorry. So I'm not sure how I'm going to organize these. I don't know if I'm going to put a label on the outside, if I'm going to put one right here on the inside of the drawer where the notch is. I'm not sure yet, and I haven't done anything with it just because I don't know if they're going to stay that way. So I know something that I do want to change this year. I like having these sheer curtains because it allows natural light to come in. They're not super sheer, but you know, you can definitely see through them. You get what I'm saying? But the way my house faces, I get a lot of western sun, like it's sunset. So it virtually makes crafting between 3 and 5 almost impossible just because of the direct light that comes in here. So I'm thinking of getting blackout curtains and then putting for these windows and then just opening them up if I want more natural light. I'm not super thrilled with that, but that's, you know, seems like the only choice I have. My little Frida Kahlo pillows. I did get a cart. So I got one of those rolling carts. I had talked about getting one. I did go ahead and get it. It has all of my supplies that I use frequently at hand. So you can see all my scissors and tools. And then my my brushes, my adhesives, this little guy I finally got one of those little desk vacuums. So I have that on there, my ATG, my crocodile, just all these little bins with all the extra stuff. Down here I have my sprays, so I did get them out of that container over there and moved them over here so they're at hand. I have my bookbinding stuff in here. My heat gun is in here. And then down here I keep a water bottle and some spray stuff. These are all the tools that I use to make that paper, that dyed paper that I use. This bin right here in this corner is all of my Alice in Wonderland stuff. So that big Alice in Wonderland books that I was doing and those projects are all in this. I need to wrap that up. That's a goal for this year, is to wrap up that whole project. These are my extra handmade cards. I've really consolidated it. I ended up giving away a lot and then selling a lot this year, so that was helpful. It says junk journal scraps, but it's not. It's actually a project that I'm working on, and I have it in there. It's been in there for a little bit. I need to get that wrapped up as well. This is a bag of, this is just a bag of bags and tissue paper for, you know, gifts and whatnot. Here is my frame that has all of my Christmas die cuts on it. That hasn't changed. I have changed this shelf a little bit. So I moved my ephemera to these Tim Holtz tins here. And so that's where they stay. They're organized in there. This is an ephemera bin. These all contain different types of ephemera. This contains wire. This one has metal letters. This one does have all of my small metal bits, and this one has all of my large metal bits. All of these on this shelf are all items that I would use as covers to make journals. That's what all of that is. So they're all there. This is all of my, like my ephemera station. So I know that this says tags and pockets, but my tags got out of hand. So this is just tags. And then this is pockets. And then this is just extra papers that I use for backing tags and whatnot when I'm doing those. So again, just more ephemera, larger than what I have up there. The stuff I have up there is going to be more like what you would get in ephemera kits, like the Tim Holtz paper dolls and things like that. So they're smaller bits. And these are going to be more of the larger bits. This is some old film that I have here. A thing of tags or labels, and then a thing of gift tags. I have another one of those. I put this over here. So this is another one of those little ephemera cases that I was using that I have just smaller tags in. So I just popped it over there. This down here, sorry about the finger. This down here is going to be books that I use on the regular. I pull pages from them and whatnot. And then I have some storage containers here, these cigar boxes. And then again here, more books that I just pull pages from for junk journaling. And then down here, again, more pages and then reference books and magazines that I have. And then I have some metal stamping stuff there. And then that is all tissue paper in that. Let's see. These dies have not changed much. All right, sorry, I had to close that door, so I needed to take a second. So here are my dies here. This system I had just moved to when I recorded the last video, and it's still working for me really well. I like it. I have everything that I need at hand, pull it off, and then put it right back. So that's been working great. These are just some rolls of specialty paper, handmade papers, and things like that. Gift papers, large papers. That I use. Again, I have a tote obsession, so I keep all of my totes and my working apron there. I have a smaller rack with cards. That is newer. I bought that for using at craft fairs, so I went ahead and put that there to use as display as well. I had to move all of my stuffies up here to the top of the shelf because of the puppy. She thought they were all toys. And these are all just kind of sentimental. You see all my Winnie the Pooh stuff in here. I've got paint brushes, and then these are my I think it's Jane Davenport watercolors and watercolor pencils. And then this shelf, let me back up. This Calyx unit has mostly become kind of my mixed media and my junk journaling. And that's really what I wanted to do. So that's what I do mostly. I do card making and I do junk journaling. I used to do a ton of mixed media. There are some items that I still kept because it was really expensive. It was an investment and I still enjoy doing it. I just don't do it on the level that I did before. So I did keep some of that, and a lot of it's just kind of mixed throughout. But this right here would be my digitals. I've printed them out. I've got them in little sections and kits. I'd like to get some, I think some dividers here so that I could actually label what they are. And then like all of them are labeled inside. I've got like little sheets of paper in there that say where I came from and what the name of it is. But I'd like to get them labeled a little bit better so that I don't have to pull one out to see what it is every time. In this bin, I have all of my hand-dyed papers. So these are the papers that I dye. And then there's some coffee stain papers back there, and these are also just some materials that I have hand dyed. This is all of my hand dyed scraps. These are some papers that are all hand dyed, but they were, I just ordered these off of Etsy, and I just haven't worked them into anything, and I'm going to keep them there in those envelopes, probably indefinitely, actually, until they're gone. They're used. This is going to be book pages and magazine pages back here, items that I can use for pages. Here are some printables that I had already kind of cut up to use as pages, but they're smaller, so I put them in this bin now because they're cut in half instead of being the full sheets, and I didn't have room to work them into the larger ones, so I put them in here. This is that cotton paper that I picked up in a little haul recently. Some tissue paper. Here's some coffee filters. This is piano paper here. This is some Italian straw paper. I know you know that this is the Tim Holtz, why can't I think of what it is? Tissue paper. And then these were some paper pads that I got. The reason they're over here is because these are all neutrals and they're all like ledger papers and stuff. So I kept them there because they'd be great pages for junk journals. Here are a lot of the other random pages. These are either pages that I had created for other junk journals and they didn't fit, or I pulled them out. And then just stuff that I use as pages. So the little books that I pull from, all the little booklets that I do, some magazine, there's some pockets, some tissue paper. So just all of the random stuff that I use. There are some paper bags in here. This is all of that packing paper that we get from all of the shipments from Amazon. And I use them as pages in my books as well. So I've got them stacked there. So all of this is pretty much just like junk journal pages, materials that I can use. My sewing machine and my little mat are there. This is where I've decided to keep my projects. So this bin contains projects that are more of holiday related. So my Christmas, my Halloween, my fall projects are there. These are projects that are more neutral that I'm collecting stuff for. So as I think that this year I may start just doing kind of a challenge to get rid of some of these projects, or to get them out and get them working on. And I may just kind of number them off and just do a blind draw. And there you go. These are upcoming projects. I've gotten these little bins. So these are things that you'll be seeing soon, ish, right? This is all of my chipboard and mat board. And then these are the scraps here. This is a lot of my stuff that I was talking about, my mixed media stuff. So I've got the Tim Holtz ideology stuff. So I've got a lot of these altered stuff, things that can be altered, clock bits, and little houses, little, I don't even know what those are called back there, but they're the little boxes that you can open up. And then these are, let me pull one out and I'll show you, since I can't think of what the name of it is. I've got all of my cigar boxes that I like to alter. So what is this? This is Graphic 45. It's one of those boxes that, there we go, that pops open. And I know they just call it staples, so I don't know. Those are just little banner bits and things like that that I keep up in here. There's some canvas. I don't really do a lot of canvas work anymore, but my girls do, so I keep little bits of canvas that I do have. All of this is materials that I would use for junk journals. So they're going to be bags, boxes, things like that that I can use, packaging that I can use for making junk journal covers. This is projects that, these are mixed media projects that I have started or that I had completed and they got messed up either in transport when I moved or whatever, or I need to add to them. And so those are just kind of mixed media works in progress that I need to get to. These are some of the expensive things that I spent money on back in my mixed media days. So I have a ton of pastels. These are all pan pastels here. Lots of other pastels in there. My watercolors, lots of expensive watercolors and stuff in there. That's just my sewing tools and extra fabrics. And then that's all of my heat embossing stuff. So, and then this is where I work. So I like to see my TV up there, and then I'll have my new bulletin board up there, my whiteboard, and I'll be able to keep track of all my goals and things. This is a project that I'm going to start next. So I've got everything pulled out for it. And then I like to keep, here's my candy dish. It actually has candy in it this time. And then I have my little pail for trash. And then this is just for ephemera and bits. And this is just how I work lotion. And then that little thing there keeps all of my nail stuff to keep my nails pretty. So it has all my polishes and my nail file in it. I should probably trade the candy bucket and the trash bucket, but what's the fun in that? My big kick, it moved over here. Here are my big mat, my Tim Holtz glass mat. This is a ton of Christmas ephemera that I was working on that I need to work into my little ephemera bags back here and go ahead and put up for the year. But I need to sort through it and make sure that it's a little bit better organized. Here's my guillotine cutter. And then this is my other bin for flowers. That's that flower project I'm working on. And then this has been a huge change. I have managed to move all of my paper collections to here. This side right here, this entire side is nothing but Christmas. I haven't gone through and labeled the different collections, but I will now that I've got them completely organized. The only ones I do have, I have Christmas ephemera. The second bin is also Christmas ephemera. And then the bin at the bottom is going to be my Christmas paper scraps. The rest of it is all Christmas paper collections. And then here are my other paper collections. We can start at the bottom. So this is going to be more of my autumn. These two blue are winter. This one contains nothing but coffee papers, coffee themed papers. These two pink ones are Valentine's. These three right here are all of my Halloween. So these are Halloween papers. This is Halloween ephemera. Here's my Tim Holtz, my Graphic 45. I haven't labeled this yet, but this is my Dia de los Muertos paper. This is 49 in Market. This is also 49 in Market. Simple Stories, Photoplay, Country Craft Creations, Cartabella, and Echo Park papers are here. I put a lot in one bin. This is the Stamp Market, Pink and Maine, Catherine Pooler, Scrapbook.com, Vicki Booten, Love from Lizzie, and Honeybee. This is Maggie Holmes. This is Stamperia, Spellbinders, Paper Rose, and Pink Fresh. And I think I just added Create, All in Create to this as well. I did, so I need to add them to this. But that's how I can keep it all separated, and in my mind, it makes sense. It all makes sense. So I've made some big changes. Oh, and I also did get the studio chair. So this is a standing workstation. I like to do a lot of standing when I'm in here. But when I do things like edit, or if I'm working on just small ephemera bits and things that are a little bit more tedious and I'm not having to move around quite a bit, I do have a chair now. And it's the architect chair or whatever, so it raises its higher. So that was kind of the problem that I was having before, is the chair was too low, and then I started using bar stools, but then they were way too high. So I finally got a proper chair. My goal this year is to micro-organize, to get things labeled, and to use more of the items that are in my stash, because look at all those digital prints and all the paper I just showed you. It's so much. I have so much stuff and I really need to be using it. And also to get a second chair. That way I can have people come in and join me. My girls like to come in here frequently and hang out with me. And they'll either pull in chairs, or a lot of times they just make like little pallets on the floor and just kind of chill here. So that is that. I hope that you enjoyed the tour, that maybe I gave you some ideas for your own space, or I've encouraged you to make a few changes, yes. Or maybe you're convinced that you're happy with things the way they are in your own space. Anyhow, happy 2025 to everyone, and until next time, bye.